So you're online looking for new t-shirts to wear this season, and you find plain white t-shirts for $10, and you also find the exact same design for $200. And you're sitting there wondering, like, what can the $200 t-shirt potentially have? Like, how different can it be? Well, it's lucky that you clicked this video because today I brought $10 t-shirt and $200 t-shirt, basically to compare their quality, texture, and like how the fabric is. And of course, I'll go more in detail with the stitchings and the quality of finishing. And with those characteristics, I'll be giving a rating from 1 to 5. Let's get to the review. So, starting with the $10 one, this I got from Costco, and I only wear these for pajamas because they're pretty comfortable, and I also don't mind getting these dirty, so they're great for pajamas. And in terms of like outside wear, I would say for the first month, I would wear it outside, but after that, I would never wear it because the neck part started to get too loose. Like, it would look ugly, and then I eventually cut it off, so I can still wear it outside because it looks better right now. In terms of texture, it's actually better than what I would expect from like a low quality t-shirt. The brand is Calvin Klein, it's from Costco, and it's made in Bangladesh. And what you normally find in low quality t-shirt is that the material is super thin, it doesn't have any characteristics. So like, you can tell that it's super thin and lightweight, but it's not like a characteristic of a t-shirt. It's just so that those materials tend to be cheaper, like the light and thin ones, so they just used it. It's not like they intended it to be like super light and super thin. And that's why I love it for pajamas. It's just like perfect pajama material. Like, you can see that it's super light and thin, and if the texture of paper is 1 and like silk or the best material is 5, this would be like a 3. So in terms of texture, I'll give it a 3. Now let's move on to the texture of luxury quality t-shirts. So this one I won't rip it off too hard. So this is the $200 t-shirt. The brand is Issey Miyake, which probably you might not have heard of if you're not interested in fashion, or Steve Jobs, you might not have heard of this brand. It's a Japanese brand that focuses on like minimal and modern simple lifestyle. So I'll take out the clothes hanger and show you how the texture feels like. Compared to the Costco t-shirt, which had like jellyfish type of movement and it was super thin, like this one, it actually has like really thick material. Sounds the same, but it basically have really thick material, like you can really tell, and it won't flow like a jellyfish. It has like more of a structured flow. And once you wear it, that's more evident. So once you wear these type of t-shirt, it flows in an elegant way, and which is the second thing that I want to cover, flow. It's not the wrap type of flow, it's the flow of the garment, and it really amplifies your style when you wear it. And the texture of the material is like really soft. It's like fuzzy type of cotton. And once you have these in hand, you'll be like, wow, this is a really high quality t-shirt. And I'm not sure if you can tell, but it has like a really ivory tint compared to these ones. Like this one is like almost like off-white t-shirt, and this not off-white, like off-white. And then this one is like more of an ivory tone. So that's a little subtle difference. And these ones are much thicker and denser when it comes to like the weavings. And another characteristic that I really love about these t-shirts is that they don't wrinkle. I don't know how they did it, but they just don't wrinkle. I mean, they do wrinkle. If you like fold it in half and put a book on it, they're going to wrinkle. But even if I crunch it up like a ball like this and leave it overnight, or like leave it for a week, and then I just put it on a hanger again, it's just like perfectly fine. So I've had these for about a year now, and I never ever ironed them because all you have to do is put it on a hanger for a day and like it'll just perfectly go to normal. I don't know how they did it. So that being said, both texture and fabric are amazing, but I'll still give it a 4 out of 5 just because of the price point. Like, I'll deduct 1 point for the price. Moving on to flow. This is something a lot of people forget when they're purchasing clothes, but it's actually essential to consider if you want to build a proper minimal closet. And what usually determines a good minimal outfit versus like a mediocre outfit is the flow, is like, how does the garment flow? Like, what makes brands like Le Mer or Oral-Lee or like Ed Maynor, like what makes their garment special is how they flow. And for example, the Costco t-shirt, I've shown you before, but it's almost like a jellyfish. Like, it has no flow, no elegant flow. It does trace my movement when I move. Basically, it's just like swinging back and forth because it's too light, too thin, so it's really hard to generate any type of profile out of this thin material. And of course, there's not going to be any profile added with this, so I'll give it a 1 out of 5 for flow. Now, Issey Miyake contains more of a heaviness to the fabric, so when I shake this, it's a different movement. It flows really softly, and it has like the elegant soft movement. Like, I'm making the same movement with the Costco t-shirt and like this one, and it's totally different. And this basically provides an elegant, rich feel to the t-shirt itself, because unless the material is high quality, these movements cannot be generated, and humans, by our animal instinct, we can taste and feel whatever is like high quality for some reason. Like, you can't verbalize it, but you know everyone can tell if something is high quality. So that's what I mean when I'm comparing flow. In layman terms, it's how expensive does it look. In fashion terms, it's elegance. For Issey Miyake, I have zero complaint about how it traces my movement, so I'll give it a 5 out of 5 for the flow. Next up, I'm going to compare the design and the fit. Just like you saw in the previous parts, the Costco t-shirt, it has like zero detail, zero profile, and zero design. It's just plain white t-shirt. There's nothing to it. It's obviously a regular fit that doesn't have like any profile embedded to it. And as I mentioned previously, this neck part, like cutting the neck ribbing off, I really encourage it for like old t-shirts and especially like vintage concert merchandise. Those are great fit because this actually provides a really vintage feel. It's super easy. Just get a sharp knife, like you don't need any skills. Get a sharp knife and trace it, and that's it. So for the design of these, I'll give it a 2 out of 5. I won't give a 1 out of 5 because 1 out of 5 basically means that the design is shit. This is not shit, it's just like, there's nothing. The Issey Miyake t-shirt doesn't have any details either. The fit is regular fit without any details on it. It's just a regular fit. It doesn't have any profile embedded to it either. However, the difference is that this neckline here, it's super minimal. It's like clean. And I'll show you in the detail section, but the stitching is like super clean. Like there's nothing, no flaws and like no stitch lines that you can see from here. And that's typically what you're going to find with high quality t-shirts. Like it's going to have a profile and it's going to have a characteristics. For example, like this one is super minimal. And even though it doesn't have any details on it, it embodies the minimal feel. So that's what I like about these. But if you ask me like, what's the score for design? I would probably give 3 out of 5 just because it embodies the minimal style, but there isn't any design. And lastly, let's compare some details. I'll be going over the sleeve, the neck, and the stitchings. So starting with the sleeves, the top one is Issey Miyake and the bottom one is Costco. The Issey Miyake one is super clean, like there's no wrinkles going on, and then Costco one is like, even though I just straightened it, it's full of wrinkles. And even here, like the stitching, like the fine detail is so different. Although both are machined, it's obvious that the Issey Miyake has higher quality of finish. And then look at the shoulder lines. One of the biggest differences is that when I stretch the Costco t-shirt, you can almost see the stitches coming off. And then here, you don't see anything. So that really shows how tight the stitching is when it comes to like quality designer t-shirt versus the cheaper lower end t-shirt. Now let's move on to the neck details. Basically, there's no neck detail for Costco one because I cut it off. But when it was there, it wasn't this clean. Like it wasn't like this. If it was like this, I wouldn't cut it off. So when it comes to the neck detail, the Issey Miyake one is like super simple and clean. And what I really love about these is that they don't really stretch. I've been wearing these for a decent amount of time and I've never experienced stitching and I never worry about it stretching. And honestly, for t-shirts, there's not many things you can change and neck is one of the huge parts. Like if you make, like for example, if you make like a U-neck versus a round neck like this one, they're two different things. Like round neck is good for minimal, but U-neck would be good for like grunge or like other Asian styles. So in a high quality t-shirt, usually you're looking for neck ribbings that are tight so that it doesn't loosen up after like a month of wear. And lastly, let's look at stitchings. In terms of Issey Miyake, there's nothing to complain. Like for high quality t-shirt, obviously the stitchings outside, there's nothing to complain about. However, when you look at the inside, there's still going to be like threads that are coming out. I'm not sure if you can see it. Threads that are coming out like this. So then even if you buy $200 t-shirts, you're still going to experience this. And of course, the Costco one is worse. You can see the threads coming out everywhere. So that is a difference. However, one thing that's interesting is that I have $50 t-shirt from Costco, and whether it be like inside or outside, there's no threads popping out. So that's interesting. I'm paying like $200 for these and there's still like threads coming out of it. I don't know. So these are the scores, and keep in mind the price tag is totally different. So it is expected that the quality is different. If you're looking for t-shirts to wear every day and like you don't want to worry about getting it dirty, like even for myself, I don't wear this if I know I'm gonna go out to a restaurant that's like super dirty. Like I just won't wear it. That's not worth it. So it really depends on why you need another t-shirt. If you're looking to upgrade your style, like I would definitely recommend this. Like invest in maybe up to like $100. I feel like once it reaches $100 price range, like there's not much of a difference, honestly. So I would say like if you really want to upgrade your outfit, invest in t-shirts. But if you want to find something that you wear every day to work or every day to school or whatever, if it's everyday purpose, definitely go with the cheaper one. And in my honest opinion, and this is coming from a person who bought $200 t-shirts, is that designer t-shirts, especially for bright colors, is not worth it at all. It's a matter of time that you'll somehow get it dirty. Like, it's not like I'm never gonna drink coffee in these. Like, on some day, I might spill it and that's gonna ruin my day. So it's definitely not worth it to buy expensive bright t-shirts. And I honestly find myself wearing the mid-range t-shirts the most because I'm comfortable with getting those dirty. Like that wouldn't ruin my day. And I feel like that's one of the criteria that you should have if you're looking for t-shirts is, do I feel comfortable in these? And it's not just the physical comfort, it also encompasses mental comfort. Like, do I mentally feel comfortable wearing these? If not, it's probably not a good purchase, because if you're wearing t-shirt, for example, like this, when I wear it and I go to like drink coffee or even eat a meal, like I'll be worrying, like I'll be like, oh, am I gonna spill it or not? That's just not mentally comfortable, and that I feel like is not a comfortable t-shirt. So first, find out which price range are you comfortable with, because I thought these $200 t-shirt would change my life, change my style. It didn't. So don't fall into that trap of reminding yourself, if I get this, my style's gonna upgrade. That's most likely not gonna happen. And yeah, that's the summary of these two t-shirts. One that's $200, one that's $10. They both have the same function. They both look the same, I guess. But keep in mind the quality is different. However, when it comes to your decision, please pick a t-shirt that's comfortable for you. In terms of the question, is $200 t-shirt worth it? I would probably say no. I would say like up to $100 is a reasonable price. Even that is like pretty expensive. If you really like a t-shirt, then maybe spend $100, but I wouldn't go above $100. And that's it for my comparison. As always, I hope you guys have a wonderful day and see you in my next video. Bye! See? It flows differently.